Hello everybody, Captain Marty here. It is Tuesday. Thanks for coming back, finding us if you're one of our regulars, and if you're new, we're going to give you a little bit of fishing action all over the Outer Banks. And don't forget to check out our stories, which are on this same podcast site. Just scroll down a little bit further and here's some of the adventures from my career at sea. So we'll be back in just a moment and bring you up to date, so stay right where you're at.
Red Drum Tackle in Buxton is the oldest complete tackle shop at Cape Hatteras. And being the closest tackle shop to Cape Point, Red Drum Tackle has been welcoming fishermen to Hatteras Island with a wide selection of bait and tackle, skilled custom rod builds, rod and reel repair, expert knowledge and information since 1974. Red Drum Tackle knows how, when, and where to fish. To acquire this fishing brainpower, visit them online at reddrumtackle.com. Red Drum Tackle, the oldest complete tackle shop at Cape Hatteras and the closest to Cape Point in Buxton.
Hey y'all, Captain Marty here. And when I was looking for a top quality mower, I went to the best. And the best is A&W Sales in Pinetown. Now at A&W Sales, they carry top quality brands like the Bad Boy zero-turn mowers, of which I own one now for 15 years. American-made, heavy-duty machines built to handle anything from backyard touch-ups to commercial jobs. They've proudly sold and serviced Bad Boy mowers for over 15 years. How about if you're in need of a trailer? A&W Sales carries the full line of Big Tex trailers, the best-selling trailer brand in the entire nation. Visit them in-store or online at awsalesnc.com, where tough equipment meets trusted service.
So we've settled into a routine, no question about that. But the weather has been manageable, and guys are getting some pretty weather in fishing offshore. The Hatteras fleet and the Oregon Inlet fleet both had really great catches of dolphin, mostly Baylor dolphin. If you are new to our fishing reports, a dolphin is the fish dolphin, not the mammal, not the bottlenose dolphin. And a Baylor is the 3 to 5 pounders that you bail them. You just sling them in the boat, and you can catch a limit, which is right around 60. In 10 minutes if your group is trained up good and follows directions, and you find a grass line, sargasso grass, or an old loading mat barnacled up, or a board, or anything you can find floating, that's what they're going to hang around, and that's what the captains will spend the whole day looking for. Can always remember what a great feeling it was to see a bed of grass floating on the surface that nobody had fished before. And as you're coming up to it, you see one of these jump out of the water, because they do that a lot. That's why we called them grave diggers, because when the one jumped out of the water, he gave away the location of the whole school, and you could go there, as I mentioned, and catch a lot of them very, very quickly. They also had a few small blackfin tuna in Hatteras and more yellowfin tuna, but not many. But they were a little bit larger yellowfin tuna up off Oregon Inlet. Both fleets had numerous sailfish in the catches. That's pretty normal for this time of year. In fact, I do hope that we'll see more of them as we get more into the summer. We've had blue marlin in both fleets yesterday, but just a couple is all I could find. So that's what we had going on there. Inshore fleets are doing pretty much the same as well. Spanish mackerel and bluefish for both fleets, and the Oregon Inlet fleet has been catching a few moonfish in their catches. The Hatteras fleet doing a little bit of bottom fishing, catching a few king mackerel, a few amberjack, a few sea bass, things of that nature when they're bottom fishing. Our pier and surf report also is a routine type thing. A little bit of pier information. Nags Head Pier had blues and Spanish on an early bite. Jeanette's Pier, blues. They had some spots, had some croakers in 70-degree water there. The North Beaches up that way, they had sea mullet and bluefish. Those were three things that I could pull out of very generic fishing reports, because mostly what it is Taylor bluefish and Spanish mackerel, sea mullet and croakers in the wash if you're fishing along the surf. But this is a great time of the year to introduce kids to fishing on light tackle. You don't need waders. You don't have to worry about crushing surf. You just get down there on the beach or on a pier where you won't even need a fishing license, and you get them all geared up and do a little bit of fishing while you're here on the Outer Banks. And all those smaller species are really good pan fried, really, really good. Sea mullet, croakers, spots, all those are one of my favorites to eat, especially when you bread them up good with a little house autry and pan fry them and you eat the tails. You can eat the tails like potato chips. All right, so we'll take a little break. Then I'll come back to tell you about a lot that's going on in the backcountry. And I'll also bring you up to date on when our next billfish tournament will be happening in our area. So stay tuned and I'll be right back.
Let's be real. No one wants to deal with nasty varmints like mice, roaches, creepy crawlies, and critters. Leave that work to the experts at Outer Banks Pest Control. Outer Banks Pest Control is the best on the beach when it comes to eradicating those unwanted creatures. They've been in business for over 25 years with well over 100 years of combined exterminating experience. Specializing in both commercial and residential properties, Outer Banks Pest Control has all the tools and equipment necessary to take on any pesky job. They pride themselves on top quality customer service and workmanship. Hey, if it ain't red and yellow, it's just some coattail riding fella. Outer Banks Pest Control, the best on the beach with a proven track record of excellence since the year 2000 and online at outerbanks-pestcontrol.com.
All right, so things are changing around out in the Pamlico Sound. We're getting more into a late evening or night fishery for the drum, and some of the drum are getting fat and big now, filling up on crabs and trout and menhaden, whatever they can find, really. But there's some big drum, 40, 44 inches in that range, and everybody is, we're seeing more and more of it morphing into the night fishing that we've been talking about. This is widespread, by the way. We have them back of Hatteras Island, we have them back of Wanchese, and we have them over here on the Swan Quarter side of the Sound. So there's a scattered big drum. There's a few still being caught in the daytime, but we see more and more people fishing that evening bite now. And also, there's been, depending on where you go, there's been both gray trout and speckled trout being caught, along with some bluefish and even some Spanish mackerel now back in the Sound. Around the southern tip of Wanchese was a good Spanish mackerel bite yesterday. They come up along that shoreline right there back of the harbor park, and you can actually catch them off the beach out there if you can find a little place to fish where there's no water moccasins. And be careful, stay on dry land as best you can. But they do come up. They come up Adams Ditch, Adams Creek right there every year about this time of year. And exciting news, the trout season opened today. Just keep in mind, this is the speckled trout season. There are applicable laws and limits that apply. So make sure you understand what they are, before you go out and try for them. But that's encouraging after the cold stun events of last winter. It's been a long kind of dry spell, although fishing has been good and the trout have been big, so that's encouraging. The big trout are the ones that are laying all the eggs, and you might want to consider letting them go if you can. But that's what's going on there. And our final item of interest is the next billfish tournament will be the Dare County Boat Builders Tournament at Pirates Cove Marina. This is the tournament that raises money for local college scholarships for graduating high school seniors and for students that have gotten into that program and got renewable scholarships as they go on. So that tournament is July the 24th, 5th, and 6th. At Pirates Cove Marina. It's not a large tournament. There's usually about 30 boats in it, something like that, 35 maybe if it's a good year. And of course, the generosity of these people and the sponsors are what makes them able to give well over $100,000 in scholarship money each and every year. That's a big help. So keep that in mind, and I hope you get a chance to go out and wet a line today, do a little bit of fishing if you can, and let the good Lord bless you.